Let me ask you something right now. Who told you what's possible for your life? Who gave you the blueprint, the map, the rules? Because I've got news for you. Most of what you've been told about success is a lie. It's been packaged, filtered, and sold to you to keep you comfortable, compliant, and stuck. And here's the truth. They don't want you to know what you're actually capable of. Not your doubters, not the people around you who gave up on their dreams, not the system that thrives when you settle for mediocrity. Because once you tap into this truth, once you realize how powerful you really are, you become uncontrollable. So today, we break the lie wide open. Today, I'm going to share 6 hard-hitting truths about success, the stuff they never wanted you to learn, and once you hear this, there's no going back. So many people out there are waiting for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, the guaranteed path. They want the trophy without running the race, but the truth is, success is not something you achieve once and carry forever. It's not a finish line, it's a discipline, a standard, a way of living. It's about showing up every single day, even when you're tired, even when no one's watching, even when you feel like you've got nothing left. Because that's what builds strength. That's what forges resilience. That's what separates the amateurs from the obsessed. Let me be real with you, talent might give you a head start, but it's consistency that gets you to the top. You want a world-class life, then you've got to develop world-class habits. That means pushing when it's uncomfortable, stretching when it hurts, and choosing growth when your mind screams comfort. That's the rent, and it's due every damn day. You want the body, the bank account, the business, the impact. It's built one brutal, disciplined day at a time. You want to make your dreams real, then you better marry the process, not just flirt with the results. Most people quit when it gets hard. But if you want to rise, if you want to dominate your space, you've got to outlast the pain, outwork your excuses, and outgrow the limits they've placed on you. Every day is a test, and every day is a chance to rise. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. That's the truth they don't want you to hear. See, most people try to change their behavior without ever upgrading the identity that drives that behavior. They read a book, watch a motivational video, get fired up, and say, "I'm going to change my life." But within a few days, they fall back into the same old patterns. Why? Because deep down, they're still the same person. You can't outperform your self-image for long. So if you want to create lasting, explosive success, you've got to stop trying to do more and start becoming someone new. This is not about pretending. This is about transforming. You need to become the kind of person who naturally does the things others struggle with. A champion doesn't just act like a champion when the lights are on. They live like one when nobody's watching. A world-class performer doesn't just train when they feel like it. They've wired themselves to be the kind of person who trains because it's part of who they are. And that's what separates the few who succeed from the many who stay stuck. A shift in identity. Here's the part no one tells you: real transformation is uncomfortable. You'll have to break the version of you that was built for survival and start building a version of you that's designed to thrive. That means letting go of excuses that used to feel valid. That means challenging every story you've told yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. That means choosing to believe in the future you, not the past you. And that takes courage most people never tap into. But if you do this, if you raise your standard for who you are and what you expect from yourself, then everything else starts to shift. Your habits align, your energy changes, your results multiply. Because you're no longer trying to succeed, you are success. And once you become the person who earns it, achieving it is just a matter of time. That's the real secret. The game isn't about working harder. It's about becoming someone for whom that level of greatness is non-negotiable. That's power, that's transformation, that's the identity shift. This one's going to sting, but it's the wake-up call that can change your entire life. Success doesn't come to those who are good people, or who mean well, or even to those who think they deserve more. It comes to those who raise their standards and stop tolerating anything less. The harsh reality is, the life you're living right now, your income, your relationships, your health, your mindset, is a direct reflection of what you're willing to tolerate. Nothing more, nothing less. Think about it. If you tolerate being broke, you'll stay broke. If you tolerate being tired, overweight, or disrespected, you'll stay in that loop. And if you're saying things like, "I know I deserve better," but not demanding better from yourself and your environment, then all you're doing is making noise without power. Deserving doesn't move the needle, standards do, because your brain doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you demand, to what you refuse to accept any longer. If you truly want to create a new level of life, you've got to make a decision deep in your soul. I will no longer accept this. It's not a hope. It's not a wish. It's a line in the sand. It's saying, this version of me is no longer acceptable. This standard is dead. This behavior, this mindset, this energy, it's done. And once you draw that line, the universe starts to respond. Opportunities show up. People shift. Momentum builds because you've stepped into alignment with who you're meant to be. You've got to stop being loyal to your limits. Stop justifying mediocrity. Stop making peace with situations you were meant to outgrow. And instead, start demanding more. Not from the world, but from yourself. Success doesn't care what you wish for. It shows up for the person who's unwilling to settle. So if you're tired of waiting, tired of watching, tired of wondering why others are getting ahead, it's time to look in the mirror and ask, what have I been tolerating that I must now eliminate? Raise your standard, and the world will rise to meet it. That's how champions are born. Not by luck, but by deciding this ends now. Comfort is a drug. It feels good in the moment, it numbs your fears, it strokes your ego, and it gives you the illusion that you're safe. But make no mistake, comfort is the silent assassin of greatness. It's the invisible force pulling you away from your potential and keeping you chained to the familiar. And the most dangerous part, it doesn't scream at you. It whispers, it says, you've done enough today. It says, you can start tomorrow. It says, don't push so hard, don't take that risk, don't be too much. And before you know it, you're living a life that's a fraction of what it could be. Not because you weren't capable, but because you were comfortable. You want to know why most people never reach their full potential. It's not because they lack skill or time or resources. It's because they're addicted to comfort. They avoid the pain of growth. They fear the uncertainty of action. They crave security over significance. But you cannot grow and stay comfortable at the same time. Growth demands discomfort. Transformation requires chaos. Expansion thrives in uncertainty. When you step outside of your comfort zone, you enter the place where real change lies. The place where you discover strength you didn't know you had. The place where confidence is built, not born. And the more you stretch that zone, the more powerful you become. Every breakthrough in your life will be preceded by a decision to embrace discomfort. Whether that's waking up earlier, having the hard conversation, launching the business, or going all in when your fear says stay back. Here's what I know. Your destiny is never found in your comfort zone. It's found on the edge, where you're scared, stretched, and still moving forward. That's where champions are made. That's where your future self is waiting, not in safety, but in stretching. So if you feel uncomfortable, good. You're growing. If you feel resistance, good. You're on the right path. Just don't let the voice of comfort talk you into staying small, because your dreams will never fit inside your comfort zone. You've got to get out, get uncomfortable, and stay uncomfortable long enough to become unrecognizable to the version of you that played it safe. That's how you rise. That's how you dominate. That's how you win. Everyone feels motivated at the start. Motivation is easy when the idea is fresh, the vision is exciting, and the possibilities are glowing in your mind like a fireworks show. But what happens when the spark fades? When the early energy dies out, when nobody is clapping for you, when you wake up tired and the dream feels 1,000 miles away, what then? That's when the winners are separated from the wishers. That's when discipline walks in and says, I don't care how you feel. We go anyway. You can't build a world. Class life on feelings. Feelings lie. They fluctuate. One day you feel like a lion. The next day you feel like hiding under the covers. But discipline doesn't care. Discipline shows up regardless. Discipline doesn't need applause. It doesn't need a good mood. It doesn't need ideal conditions. Discipline is a decision, and it's the only decision that guarantees results. This is where most people get it wrong. They wait to feel like doing the work. They scroll for motivation. They chase the perfect YouTube video, the perfect quote, the perfect hype song to get them started. But success doesn't wait for hype. It rewards the one who shows up at 5 a.m. in the dark with no applause, no cameras, and no guarantee. The one who executes the plan even when it's boring, even when it's lonely, even when it hurts, because that's what mastery is, doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Look around. Anyone at the top of their game is there because they stopped depending on motivation and started depending on systems, rituals, habits. They built a standard so strong that their actions became automatic. They trained themselves to act, not to wait. That's what gives you the edge. That's what creates the separation. If you want to break through, you've got to stop negotiating with yourself. Stop asking, do I feel like it? And start saying, it's time to go, period. Motivation may get you started, but discipline will carry you to the finish line. And once you understand that, you don't need hype anymore. You become the fire. You become unstoppable. Every time you say, I'm too tired, I don't have time, I'm not ready, or I don't know how, you're not making a decision based on truth. You're making a negotiation with your limitations. And every negotiation you accept becomes a new boundary around your potential. It becomes a wall between you and the life you could have had. The truth is, you don't rise by arguing for your limits. You rise by breaking the damn agreement you made with them. See, most people don't realize that their limitations are not facts. They're decisions. At some point, you decided what was too hard, what was too risky, what was out of reach, and then you repeated it so many times it became a belief. But beliefs aren't born, they're built, which means they can be broken and rebuilt, and that's where your power lies. The people who become unstoppable aren't the ones without fear. They're not the ones with the perfect plan or the ideal circumstances. They're the ones who refuse to let their limitations have the final word. They still feel the fear, but they move anyway. They still hear the doubts, but they act anyway, because they've trained themselves to make decisions based on vision, not emotion. And that single shift turns them into a force of nature. You've got to stop giving your limits a seat at the table. You've got to stop asking permission from fear. You've got to stop rewriting your goals to match your comfort. And instead start rewriting your identity to match your destiny. The life you want is not waiting for you to feel ready. It's waiting for you to decide that your excuses no longer run the show. The day you stop negotiating with your limits is the day everything changes. You stop hesitating, you stop doubting, you stop shrinking, and you start rising, because you finally understand that your future isn't shaped by what you can't do. It's shaped by what you refuse to let stop you. That's when you become dangerous. That's when you become relentless. That's when you become unbreakable. And once you cross that line, there is no going back. You are no longer a prisoner of your past. You're a warrior of your future, unstoppable.